tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, Tomorrow's World includes a look at the dangers of driving.
Barry, I've commandeered a vehicle.
The old trick, eh? Eat the telly before I get a chance to nick you.
It's a toaster.
Dalek, you have been defeated. Surrender. You have failed.
Insufficient data.
Nazi ain't got no humanity. They're the foot soldiers of a Jew-hating, mass-murdering maniac, and they need to be destroyed. That's why any and every sumbitch we find wearing a Nazi uniform, they're gonna die.
Is this world protected? But you're not the first lot to have come here. Oh, there have been so many. And what you've got to ask is, what happened to them?
Hello. I'm the doctor.
Indeed, good evening, good morning. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are. I am cream crackered, ladies and gentlemen. I am cream crackered, and I'm a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Not famished. Famished is not the right word that I'm looking for. I'm a bit adrift, right? I'm a bit adrift. Essentially, right? The Jewish weekend, right? The Orthodox Jewish weekend. You go offline for a day, right? You go offline for Sabbath. You all know this, right? I come online on Saturday, basically just as I just have enough time to watch that week's episode of Doctor Who. Thank God there's only 2 more weeks to go. 2 more. Oh, God, I hate this Doctor Who. Absolutely hate it. I mean, like, I went from, like, liking Shooty when I first saw him to, like, that didn't live up to the promise I thought he had, and to then go, it's like dying a death, right? Like, absolutely, like, just, I mean, look, what can you do? What can you do? I don't think you could, you can make queer Doctor Who and have it still be Doctor Who, right? It's like Star Wars. I just watched The Acolyte. I just watched The Acolyte. I'll do a review if we have time. But is there any real point? I found Rogue to be more objectionable than The Acolyte, though. Like, quite a lot more objectionable. It's totally thrown my week off. I'm like, like now it feels like I got like that groggy Sunday morning feel, because in Israel it's Monday morning, right? Oh, the internet's looking dodgy. No interwebs, come on. Oh, it looks like it's coming back. I know the interwebs looking dodgy. I've got I just got 1 dot on my Wi-Fi thing. Hang on a second, can I share the screen? You can see the insanity that I have going on in front of me. Let me show you. Share screen. I think I can share my whole screen, right? Yeah, is this I'm back. Okay. So I'm a bit stressed out now, right? Because, okay, here's how this works in my house. I have one main router to the interwebs. That one's normally quite good. I got another one extended that sends the interwebs around the house, right? That's by my stairs. So I asked my wife to reboot that one, but I don't think she had enough time to. So maybe it sorted itself out by itself. And then, oh no, it looks like it's kind of stable. Looks like it's stable. Okay, we're back. Man, that was a kick in the balls. Really, I just got started. Just got warmed up, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't even get warmed up, right? Where was I? Yeah, Sabbath. I took it down for the middle of the week for a Jewish holiday that messed me up. Whatever. We have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about. Last night, I did I would call it a bit of a chill stream, right? I was like, it was, I developed ideas as I was doing it. So we're going to revisit those ideas, I think, in more detail. Because I thought, I think the basic thesis I was making was a strong one, and also look, we just got to talk about. I don't know. We have that clip of Matt Smith at the beginning. You know, that wonderful clip from the 11th hour, perhaps one of the best bits of New Who. I mean, I really do think that's probably one of the best bits of New Who. But man, all of New Who's being tainted by this current era, right? It really genuinely is. I mean, I never ever am in the mood to watch a David Tennant episode. Like, never. Matt Smith, I'm not in the mood. And I love Matt Smith's Doctor, right? I think he was perhaps perfect casting as the Doctor. The one I'll be most interested in watching is Capaldi, but he needed another 3 seasons, right? We were really robbed with Capaldi. Oh, man, we were really robbed with Capaldi. But like, I always go to Classic Who now. Like I always go to Classic Who. And man, it's just, look, I mean, it's. I don't think this is doing very good for the current era of Doctor Who, having it be super duper gay, right? I just don't see this going down well, right? I don't think this is in any way been a success. I mean, look, the winds of change are on the air. I mean, look at this ad from Reform. I saw this ad on Twitter, and I was like, man, this everything they're saying is something I agree with, right? They're saying I think I like the general message behind this. I don't look, Reform is, I think it's going to take a miracle for them to win. It's like, it seems unlikely, but boy, would I like something unlikely to happen. Check out this ad; it's awesome.
And I am proud of my country's achievements and ethics. We're not ashamed of our history, and we do not want it condemned. No.
I mean, look, I hate to interrupt her, but like, she is so right. You should not want it condemned, right? You should be so proud of your history. Like, Britain's awesome, right? Britain is absolutely awesome. Like, they ended slavery, right? Like, and you get shit all the time. They ended slavery, and they like fought off Hitler and saved the world. You don't do that with just good leadership. You do that with great people. Like honestly, if it was down to me, I would rearrange government that only people who have run small businesses successfully could possibly be in government. Because I tell you, the working classes are always right about everything, right? That's why I like Johnny Lydon, right? Johnny Lydon is basically, he's so proud of being, of the working classes in England, and he's always right? He's always right about everything. Man, I got respect for John Lydon. Anyway.
More erased. We're fed up with being called racist, aren't we? We're fed up with being smeared as bigots, aren't we?
Yeah, why is loving your country? And there's so much to freaking love. There's so much good about it. Like, do you remember the Queen's, was it Jubilee or something? No, it wasn't a Jubilee. It was the one where she parachuted out of a helicopter with James Bond. What was that? That was awesome, right? There was so much love for England at that time. Wait, yeah, 1 second. Let me look up when that was. Queen, James Bond. Was it the Olympics? But was the Olympics that she parachuted out? That was awesome. But yeah, 2012. That's when people were like proud to be English. What happened in the last 12 years? Right? There's so much to be freaking proud of.
I am white and I don't feel ashamed.
Why would you feel ashamed? But you know what? Because they want you to.
We are standing up in defense of decency, in defense of our values, in defense of our past, in defense of our future. I'm wholly for celebrating and welcoming different cultures.
One sec. They just whizzed through that very quickly. But yeah, that's the other great. Yeah, the insanity that we live with, right? That Britain doesn't celebrate the other cultures that came to it. Britain has been one of the greatest homes for Jews for like the last 2,000 years. There are not many people who can say that. There are not many nations that can say that, right? Let me wind that back because I love how other cultures integrate themselves into British culture. Let's look at that again for a second.
I'm wholly for celebrating and welcoming different cultures.
Right, exactly. I mean, again, there's nothing more British than this, right? And they want to sell the lie that the British hate anybody who doesn't look like them. It's insane.
But only as long as the price to pay is not our own.
That's the other thing. I'm a Jewish guy, right? I'm a very Jewish guy. I liked England being a Christian country. I think it was good that it was a Christian country. I like saying Merry Christmas to people. Man, you got to say Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays. Merry Christmas. God, be proud of yourself. Be proud of who you are. I just don't understand how anybody's even considering voting for anybody. I can understand the lefty weirdos. They're going to go for Keir Starmer or like vote for Jeremy Corbyn, right? Vote for the Socialist Party, right? I understand how they're even anybody who is right of centre who would have voted for how they're even considering voting for anybody else.
We know what we need is reform.
Reform UK is about to become a political phenomenon, an historic one. So I urge you, join the revolt.
Oh man, I wish him so much success. Again, it's insane. There's no chance of winning. There seems to be every chance of beating the Tories, but who knows, right? The system is set up to stop you being able to do that, right? But I remember the thing I had to open up. One second. Somebody sent me some new advancement in AI, which I found to be incredible. Is this it? Let me pull this up. What is this one? Something with Moffat. You know what? We'll look at this soon. Doing. Terry and Stephen Roberts talks about sensitivity courses, and his new program Dominic is cancelled. Okay, I mean, how long is this clip? We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look. I mean, look, honestly, I rate Stephen Moffat's Doctor Who. I thought, but look, Boom's biggest problem, I mean, other than the, how would I describe it? The deeply, the only one I can think of is Trafe, right? That Trafe is not kosher. The deeply unkosher worldview that was propagated in Boom. That deeply unhealthy, deeply Trafe, unkosher worldview propagated was essentially it was a riff on faith, and he hated like traditional faith. Oh, I hate religion, blah, blah, blah. But he liked self-defined faith where you can do basically whatever you want, right? So I disagree with fundamentally with his central premise. Now that's going from Disparu's take on the episode, which I think was a strong one. I don't know if he's correct, but man, it certainly fits, right? Because there were two types of faith addressed in that episode. You had you had traditional faith. And then you had like again the self-defining faith. Well, what was I just trying to look up here? I was just trying. I think I'm talking about something. I can't remember. And then I saw something about Moffat. What was it? Where was I going with that? I don't remember. Talking about reform. Reform being again. Why is anybody else considering it? I do not know. Right? It is absolutely beyond me. Fine, I can't find what I was about to pull out. But we got that Stephen Moffat clip, which was quite good. Maybe it's over here. 1 second. Oh, I remember. Yeah. I was looking up the AI stuff. Right? That wasn't it. Is this it? Oh, this must be it. Yeah. Because there's some new AI engine been released, and it's incredible. Right? We are. So I keep saying this, but we are so close, right? We are so close to being able to make our own entertainment, right? We are so close to that. And you know, honestly, it's the BBC is just so behind the times, right? They're just so behind what they should have been doing. Look, BBC, instead of you actually could go 2 ways on this. What would have been better for the BBC to not make any partnerships with streaming giants and become an international streamer, right? Do you think I think if they just put out their entire content as a streaming service, free in the UK, you pay for it outside, you pay like $5.99 a month. I think that will be a huge funding model for them, right? However, the argument against that is who really won the streaming wars? That was Sony. Sony won the streaming wars. You know how? Because they didn't start a streaming service. They licensed their products, right? So you could go either way. But I think as a public broadcaster, the BBC really needs to transition to a YouTube-like streaming service where with an open source algorithm, where people's own work, wherever you post, like any British citizen can post on that, on that streaming service. That'd be actually be a good idea. Just make it British, right? You the only way you can post on it is if you're if you have a British passport, born in the UK, or a British citizen, right? Have everybody be able to post their own stuff. Have the algorithm be open source and will just promote things that are popular, and things that are not popular, they aren't promoted. And then the funding goes to what's popular, what people like. So again, you should also have I'm not against there being niche entertainment or niche programming. That's what the BBC is for. But the trouble is they made their niche programming into the entirety of their programming, right? So anyway, here, look, here's this little clip from the new AI engine that was released. And again, I find this incredible. Look at this. Like, this to me is a significant step forward, right? It's called Luma apparently, and you can go ahead and use it yourself. I haven't played with it yet, but I think that's very, very impressive, right? I think that's very, very impressive. Fine, let's look at a few more things. Doink. What else have I got here in my little bag of tricks? Are we going to look at Acolyte? God help us. There is no connective tissue between the. Oh no, that's not true. You have Jedi's in it in the background. Between the Acolyte and Star Wars, right? It's in a different universe. I do not understand why they if you're gonna do something that different from Star Wars, why not just make it a new thing, which essentially is what it was. Anyway, let's look at this. This footage has been doing the rounds for a couple of days, and does my heart good, right? Does my heart good. It's so fine. Apparently in the UK, Dad told me this. They're reporting that the hostages that were rescued a week ago were first they said, "Oh, my God, no! Oh, how could it be?" Honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, nobody gives a shit if anybody's killed unless you can blame a Jew for it, right? It's unbelievable. Like 200,000 dead by Assad, no one gives a shit, right? No one cares less. Oh, wait a minute, we can blame a Jew for it. Fuck me. Let's do that. So they were reporting they were released. This is how they were released. I mean, like, there's real fire going on there. Ganesh, that means enter. Look, you go in, mate. So they were terrified when they were rescued, because they've been kept basically in the dark, literally in the dark for months, and they just told them that their parents don't care about them, their girlfriends are dating other people, they've all moved on, nobody gives it. Really, if nobody gives a shit, we're burning the fucking world down to get these people back, and nobody gives it. But psychological torture, psychological. So they were terrified of the army, the IDF as a game. They say they found 3 hostages. Is the cobber said it? Everything's okay. They were released. Yeah, this is how much they fight to stop us rescuing our people, right? Like this intense hatred. I don't think you can't really understand it, right? I can't understand it. It blows my mind, right? This hatred that makes them want to believe up is down and black is white. Let me tell you, anybody, if you want the everything that you hear in most situations is the opposite of reality, right? It's the how the Palestinians are being portrayed as the innocent victims in this. I mean, really, you were all dancing and cheering when young girls were raped and murdered. I don't know what to tell you, mate. Either way, what can you do? Anyway, I would love if we could run this war the same way as any other country. Wouldn't that be great? Like, wouldn't that be fan-dabby double dozy? What else we got to talk about? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have me pull this up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish listening to this, so I'm not sure if I can do a full review. I'm gonna try, because somebody said to me, and again, this is why I am really, really, really glad I buy a lot less at Big Finish nowadays, right? I buy a hell of a lot less at Big Finish. Where is it? It's the Nice Doctor Adventure. Here we go. Doing share screen. So let's have a quick look at this. Again, this is not a full review because I've only listed the 1 3/4 of the first story and the 3/4 of the second story, and I went to finish listening to it today. I was like, leave me alone. Basically. Although it's got what's the name in it? Trevor, is it Trevor Cooper? In the third part. But I'm so glad I didn't waste money buying this. It's I'm very intrigued because I thought the idea of putting in Oh, no, it's back again. Okay, I think we're back. So yeah, firstly, it's called Starcrossed. It's not as awful a title as most of these ones are, but it's pretty bad, right? It's pretty generic. Eccleston always puts in a good performance. Alex Kingston puts in her performance. I think it doesn't sound like they were recording together, but they recorded their parts separately. I mean, maybe they are recording together. $30 bloody for this? No way. No way in a million years. Well, I recommend anybody paying $30 for this, right? So the Doctor and River Song, their lives are tangled, complex, intertwined. But this Doctor doesn't do domestics, and for once, River might have a work cut out. With time and space being against them, these lovers are star-crossed in more ways than most, right? So, I mean, I've always found the River Song Doctor relationship to be a bit of a strange one. It felt like there wasn't anything physical going on until Capaldi, right? Which is like with the one story, one of his what was it? The Husbands of River Song. Right, and it felt like Capaldi was being a husband to her out of love for her, but it's not something that he didn't really need to. I think he wanted to do it more for her, right? There's always an innocence in the when you have anything with romance with Doctor Who, right? Up until the second we pull up this thing, this little supercut, like we'll be looking at this later, but there's no freaking innocence going on here, right?
Tell you what, when we both get out of this,
it's all just about wanting to fuck each other.
Let's argue across the stars.
And nothing has happened as yet to make them fall in love. And this is not like Madame de Pompadour at all. They just want to fuck each other, which is fine for me. Okay, actually, is it fine? Look, the gay lifestyle, as projected by Rusty Davis in It's a Sin, the first episode anyway, is not moral, right? And it's not the fact that same-sex marriage, it's the fact that it's the promiscuity of it. Is that the right word, right? It's very promiscuous, right? And that's not a positive role model.
I like that.
I'd also like to finger my arsehole. I figured, yeah, I will. Look, there's no way you can make Doctor Who a queer show with it staying Doctor Who. This is just massively, massively inconsistent for Doctor Who.
Can you lose your throat?
Crying again! Oh, Rose says, you better kill me, because otherwise we'll all die, or something.
To save the world.
Oh, boo-hoo, crying man. Fuck off. Honestly, John Pertwee would slap you in the fucking face, or kick you in the balls and say, pull yourself together. Maybe we can snog now. There is nothing innocent about this whatsoever.
I know.
And again, it's not a love relationship. This is a purely physical fuck bunny relationship. Why does he have to grope his chest as well? I mean, that's a bit much. I mean, honestly, I guess I should be grateful we're not seeing the tongues go in each other's mouth, but maybe that's some other cuts that they had. Oh, it's so romantic. Oh, Millie, darling, I'm sorry you were born in this age where everyone's a fucked up weirdo. And how did that work? It's completely broke the rules of the episode. Oh, thank you, flowers. Oh, yes. I'll do a bit of grinding. Oh, God. Anyway, we're talking about marginally better, not that marginally better Doctor Who, Starcross. Again. So maybe I'll force myself to listen to the third part. I don't know. Right. So the first episode of Swipe Right, I hated it. Right. I hated it. There are strange rumors about a planet Krell. People have been vanishing. The mysterious matchmaker is keen to get the populace paired up via a special dating app, but rejecting too many suitors could have fatal consequences. Okay, so that is good modern Doctor Who anyway. Having a insane dating app that's going to kill you if you reject too many people. Controlling the world. That feels kind of Doctor Who to me, but not equal to Doctor Who, maybe. It's the sort of thing the Doctor would want to investigate. Unfortunately, it's also probably the sort of thing the River Song would want to investigate too. The Doctor and River are on a collision course, and it might, and this time it might not be a match made in heaven. Well, the thing that really annoyed me about this is the Doctor had like a companion, And her problem with the dating app is that she was asexual. And they portray this as a normative thing and a positive thing. I don't believe it to be either, right? I don't think it's if somebody's got some kind of handicap, I wouldn't say it's negative of that. It's like it's a bad thing for them, but it's not something that you wish for. You don't wish for a handicap. You go, oh, I hope I can't use my legs again, right? No, you don't wish for a handicap, and being asexual is a handicap. Look, we are sexual beings, right? And if you are unable to have a sexual relationship, you're missing out on a crucial part of life, right? And it's terrible, right? It's a terrible, terrible thing. And here it's being promoted as something good, and you should feel good about yourself. No, you shouldn't. I'm sorry. You need to go to a doctor. You need to go to therapy, right? It's a lot of it is, we have this fucked up generation that we fucked up. Don't get me wrong. My generation fucked up over and over again by being selfish, lazy, and stupid. Right? Honestly, in the 90s, when free porn started coming out, left, right, and center, we should have said, "Oh, this is a bit messed up," but we didn't. We were like, "Oh, free porn, really?" And it destroyed this whole generation. And then with COVID, remote learning, they're all terrified. The entire generation is terrified to go out and touch grass. Go and interact face-to-face with each other. Interacting via a device is a bad idea, right? It's a very bad idea. And that's where I think a lot of asexuality comes from, right? It's not ace. It's not good, right? It's not good. So I hated it because it was like insidious propaganda of something that's deeply, deeply unhealthy. So Face the Apocalypse by Lizzie Hopefully, that was slightly better. After locking onto an unusual algorithm, the TARDIS lands in a high-security intergalactic bank where the computerized system only recognizes one face, River Song. The Doctor discovers River dismantling the main computer and immediately suspects something dodgy. But the case of stolen identity becomes far more serious as River's face starts appearing throughout history, and the bank vault starts filling up with temporal prisoners. River is a victim of a sting of a bored computer. Is a victim of a sting of a bored computer nerd. One thing for certain, the glitch is no longer a glitch, and it's on its way to destroy all of space-time, starting with Prisoner Number 1. Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of a stretch for a prequel for the first episode. I think this is where the AI came from. But again, I've still got 10 minutes of it to listen to, and I'm just like, I'm not engaged enough with it, right? That's the bottom line. I am so glad I got out this range a long time ago, right? A long, long time ago. Let's have a quick look at the Night's Doctor range, right? We go sort by oldest first. So the Ravagers, that was a good one, right? Respondable calls, totally missable, right? 3 totally missable. Ravagers was like 1 integrated story that worked out. The respondable calls, there was 3 like throwaway stories that nobody really cared about, right? So, whatever. Lost Warriors. This was, you had a very good Cyberman story on this episode, on this box set. The Monsters. Oh yeah, Monsters in Metropolis. That was set in the 1920s. What was it? Fritz Lang, like 19th century German cinema. Curse of Lady Macbeth and Hunting Season were a bit meh. But the Cyberman story was really, really excellent, right? I mean, that's one of the, they can't really, $40 for that. Their bloody minds, right? And then this one, Old Friends, was, I thought, very good, right? This did they have John Coleshaw be the Brigadier? I guess they must have done. Warren Brown of San Pedro. Yeah, John Coleshaw was the Brigadier. This was a very, very organic Ninth Doctor story, right? It really felt like it had all that like northern working classy roots, right? Very organic. I found that excellent. And then the series went off the rails, right? With season 2, it went off the rails. Back to Earth, Into the Stars, just generic title after generic title after generic title, Hidden Depth. I think I was out by this. This one I didn't get because it had what's the name? One of those newfangled women that have penises. Shades of, and I just stopped after that point. Shades of Fear, Pioneers. Again, I'm so glad I didn't get any of these ones. Buried Threats. I was kind of tempted with Bernie Summerfield, but no, right? Traveling Hope. I'm not going to get something with an insanely generic title. But they got Al Centuri in it and an Ice Warrior lady. But this whole range is cack, right? This whole range is genuinely cack. So yeah, I'm so glad I got off that train. And I'm sick of buying releases for them and going, oh, that was a waste of bloody money, right? Which is more often than not, unfortunately, with Big Finish, right? What we got coming? And there's a few things coming out that I think look quite good. Let's pull that back up for a second. Share screen. Like this Starcop range I would have got, and I decided against. Right, I'm like, maybe if somebody sends me a copy, I'll listen to it and check out if it's any good. I'm sick of Sullivan and Cross. Leave me alone. How much longer is that running for? You notice how they're not on the front cover anymore, right? She's relegated to like this tiny little bit in the corner. To the pictures of them. Yeah, look, she doesn't look like a companion. Oh, this looks like it. Lydia West. Okay, that works, right? This doesn't, I'm afraid, right? But like the brick shithouse look isn't that great, right? So no, I'm so glad I'm out of that as well. Dominic, this is another Sullivan Cross? Yeah, go away. And then what are they doing next year when they start? Do we have any idea of the cast? I don't know. They got to go some to win me back. I mean, it's Tom Baker there, but they do have to go some to win me back. So yeah, that looks cack. For the Last Day Part 1 was garbage, right? And Morbius is a okay kind of curio, but it's not that fulfilling. And it's really not what it could have been, right? I think what's going to happen in this last part is they're going to create an alternate universe called Dark Gallifrey, which will then be like crossing over somehow through the rest of the Dark Gallifrey series. Always like the second. So next month's a big month. So the second Doctor, I love what they're doing. Who's working on that? Is that Nick Briggs? Director Nick Briggs. Okay, fine. So it's I hate to tell you. It's nearly a guarantee of quality. This one I'm up for as well. Stephen Noonan doing the first take on the 10th Doctor. The Dark Gallifrey War Master, they got me in there with David Warner, right? I'm like, okay, good for that. It looks like I'm not going to get talked to. I was getting a goth opera, right? So there's a good next month is a glut of good releases, which is unusual, right? Whoa! There's a new version of Susan's War. Oh, now I want. Who's writing this? Peter Angeles. I don't know Sarah Cassidy, but Peter Angeles is freaking awesome. So the first volume of this was fantastic, right? It was absolutely fantastic. Was that Sean Castle in it? Karen Thorne, John McKelly, the War Doctor, Sonny McGann, Alex Campbell. Rasmus is a good ongoing character. Best Chalmers, getting kind of annoying actually. But okay, that looks good. For $16, yeah. I'm been stung too many times by the Sixth Doctor, and you know, the last few ones look like cack. And Morbius the Mighty on the War Doctor, yeah, I'm up for that as well. But and then not much for the rest. But yeah, there you go. That's Big Finish for you. Fine with that. Let's get to the chat. Don't know where's there we go. Go there. Share screen. There you go. There you go. I don't know why. I just had the word curiouser and curiouser go through my head when I saw the bad news that we got to talk about, which is I'm quite happy about. And so I'm like, that's where the whole Alice in Wonderland thing comes. This actually, the AI of Millie Gibson looked better before I photoshopped it together. I think because you get a bit more leg going on, right? Yes, that is a very good Alice in Wonderland costume. Well done. The boys really wants to be woke. Yes, they do. I'm not sure if it's going to be. The second season was, but they have the quality has just been too high for it to be like super duper woke. So I don't know. I have to wait. It comes out in a couple of days. I have to wait and see it. The Acolyte. Does anybody hate Star Wars more than Kathleen Kennedy? I don't think so. Right. The queer era, which is actually being called the queerer. Right, I think that's actually quite a good moniker for it. Gets more bad news. New audience data leaked, and it turns out it's going down like a lead balloon. Yes, it is. Crashing and burning and failing. Yeah, which is where it should be. But again, Disney is used to that, right? I mean, 180 million. It's beyond belief, right? Beyond belief. Fine. With that, let's get a chat. Colin Archer there, Colin Archer. Thank you for joining us. Colin Medlin there. We've got, is that Kublai Khan in your avatar? It looks like Kublai Khan to me. If I'm saying that correctly. We're up to Darren M. How you doing? Rob, how you doing? Thank you for joining. OTS Starters is here. What was worse, the Wokalite lesbian, which cult leader or Dr. J rated the Kylie Minogue? Yeah, Rogue was worse. 100% Rogue was worse, right? Look, Star Wars was just had like the Acolyte had no connective tissue to Star Wars, right? It's cool having interesting new aliens and stuff and new takes on the Force. I like that, but that only really works if you got a strong central ethos. Which you don't. They hate the Force because they say it's toxic masculinity. So that's why. And look, I'm sorry. Star Wars in the latest para analytics data, it skews 70% male, right? That's quite a strongly male, right? And they're making like female drama out of it. For who? Lesbian female drama? For who? Nobody's interested. Like really, genuinely. No, if you put this out as a comic book, nobody would buy the comic book. You put it out as a TV show, you'll spend a lot more money on it, but $180 million, and it's a complete disaster, right? It's another absolute complete failure. Those 28-day rated Space Babies are awful. Well, they say it's 5.8, but I do not believe it at all. Right, well, let's see if I can find the anywhere list of 28-day ratings. Doctor Who 28-day ratings, Space Babies. I put 278. No, 28 days. Space Babies. Yeah. Consolidated. I don't see anything. Well, let's see what Blog to Who had to say. Fine. No. Doesn't have any information. Again, I can't find anybody talking about. I can't find an official figure. They have Rusty Davis saying it was 5.8 after 28 days. Bullshit. It did not grow 1.8 million in 21 days. No, you don't get that big a bump with 28. Bullshit. He is lying out of his ass, which is what he does most of the time now. Who was that? That was OTS Starters. I'm sure I said hello to you, Rob. I said hello to you. Paul Tozer is here. Paul, that's who it was. Mark Cook is here. Doing Mark Cook. Good evening. Have you seen the cover to the new Target on later? That is Rogue. We're going to talk about that. Being gay, I wouldn't go anywhere near it. Again, you'll find they run into difficulty with gay Doctor Who fans Because normally gay Doctor Who fans are Doctor Who fans, right? And they're like, what's this gay shit? Right? Karney says, I think Mega Geek might be able to sum up Doctor Who, Doctor Who, the Sacco Shy and the light in 2 words. What was those 2 words? Gay shit? I don't know. We're down 75 Wi-Fi power and knackered. I don't know. Right, yeah. My internet went out like straight away. Fine, but still here. We're still here. I forgot to say hello to people. Oh, no, okay, I didn't miss anyone. Sword Rangers is here. I didn't get yeah. Sword Rangers is here. Yes, I can't believe I snubbed the Neki man and not a Storigan brave man, not Storigan brave or Eki thumb. I know. X-Men 577 is here. Doctor Who literally sucks these. It does. I mean, literally sucks these days. The Acolyte is just as bad, and they're both on Disney Plus. Yeah, I mean, like, how much can you have to fuck up to be able to like take things that everybody loved forever, like everybody loved Star Wars forever, right? And crazy, and they just fucked it. Like, are you excited to see any Star Wars show ever? I don't think anybody is, really, are they? Yeah, one second, just emptying my water. She cried. In here to did I have any ice left in there? There's not something I've got any ice left in there. There you go. Star Wars, Doctor Who, Marvel, they just fuck everything. It's crazy. Disney won't renew Doctor Who. I don't think they will either. I think it's looking really dodgy, right? I think I'd like to quote Cole Benjamin, Britain should be proud of our part in the slave trade. We ended it for everyone. That is so true, right? That is so true. Okay, started. I said hello to you. Divining Dragon, how you doing, Divining Dragon? Thank you for joining us. And the other thing is the Luftwaffe expects us to feel shame for... no, the Luftwaffe, sorry, expects to feel shame British, and now... but they have no shame themselves. Yes, that's so true. I don't understand why anybody would even consider voting for anybody other than Farage at this point, right? It's he's your only hope, right? I mean, I hope there's going to be a miracle. All that, like, maybe there'll be a war first. I mean, I've been waiting for the world to end. It still didn't freaking end. Still freaking here. I'm a bit pissed off about that, quite frankly. Well, apparently Jerusalem was built here. Really? Okay, well, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Conor Archer. Look at me finding out new things. Ideal result would be an outright reform victory. What would really be a miracle is a reform Tory coalition. Could work. I don't know, because the Tories are essentially Labour. You know, it's they're useless, right? And Rishi Sunak has given up, right? Let me find this this clip. Where is it? I go here. I think it was on GMTV, not GMTV. I think it was on. Well, now they're saying we have to make a deal. Notify Rishi Sunak unite with. Oh, what's that? Wait! There's some breaking news. This is from GB News, apparently. Hang on. Is it downloading? No, hang on, I've got to go to it. Doing. Really? That would be crazy if that news actually just broke here, but that'd be impressive. Because Rishi Sunak is just that's like a YouTube video download running. YouTube video download. Doink. Let's see what this one is. Doink. Is it going to download? I mean, the idea that they would actually join up, it seems incredible to me. But no, I saw this thing like Rishi Sunak. He's given up, right? To me, he looks like he is totally given up. Where was this thing? I'm looking for Talk TV. That's what I'm looking for. Where is it? Really? It's always on the first thing. Oh, there, Doink. gotta go look at videos. Where is it? It's got a thumbnail of Roshi Sunak or whatever, sitting looking dejected. There we go. Doink. There, yeah. Fine. Let me share the screen. I do like Julie Hartley Brewer. I don't agree with everything, but she's so sensible.
Question to you: do you trust Labour on creating wealth and the tax promises?
Well, if only it was up to the UK government to create wealth. Wealth creation from a country perspective is based on, and therefore
a lot of who's out, the chief campaign coordinators for Labour. He's saying, we're not going to promise stuff. We've got to
any money in the bank this time, and therefore that's not there. And
But obviously, Keir Starmer's history as a shadow cabinet minister.
36 to 64. But again, is that talking about? What is he talking about, Rishi Sunak? Like, I can't believe this guy's number one.
Into the Labour Party, when you said it. And I wanted a party that was capable of being changed so we could face the future again.
Did you not mean it when you said it?
I was certain that we would lose.
I'm just trying to make the point to everyone in here that you said that he would make a great Prime Minister. Now will you actually say, yes, I thought that, or I didn't think that at the time?
After on about Corbyn. But where's Rashid? I got footage of him because he was useless. Oh, yeah. Like, how can you even consider voting for this guy? He's going grey before your bloody eyes.
About taxes and where they have been and where they're going.
Today, taxes as a proportion of national income are at 36.5%. They will be at 36.7% of national income by the end of the coming Parliament with all your changes. So I know that you have introduced tax cut, but overall, taxes will still be going up, won't they, under a Conservative...
Did they have Farage in this debate as well?
Government.
Well, the tax burden is too high, and that is a reflection of the decision.
Is it going up in the next Parliament? It will go up.
Taxes for people will continue to come down. That's the manifesto that we've announced.
Yeah, but you're lying.
I haven't seen Ed's analysis. It's very hard for me to comment on it there. But what I can tell you is that the tax cuts that we've announced reduce the tax burden.
I love he's being heckled from the audience.
By about 1 percentage point of GDP a year.
It's just a yes or no.
But I don't have a forecast for the economy.
When they never have a yes or no, that means they're lying.
In 5 years' time.
It was just awkward, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's just uncomfortable and awkward and that shouting out. I thought also one of the most awkward moments when someone said, or was it Beth Rubin? I can't remember, but saying, look, can you tell us something about yourself to get people to know you? And he said, well, I know people think I'm just a health person.
He's just like, again, that he didn't stand out. I don't even know why he's running. So what's this about? Is Nigel Farage about to unite as Tory leader? Really?
Nigel Farage said he would be willing to lead a merged Reform Conservative Party. Earlier this morning, he said that he could not lead the Tories as it currently is, but predicted a new party is likely to emerge after the next general election. Well, joining me now to discuss this is the GB News political correspondent Olivia Utley, who's still here from the previous...
I don't like... it's the Tories' only bloody hope, isn't it?
...debate, and also the political commentator Alex Armstrong. Alex.
They both look like arseholes.
Let's kick off with you. Is there going to be a deal? In, out, shake it all about. Nigel Farage this morning flashed his garter. Do you think this is the right thing to do?
Well, look, I think if the Reform Party and Nigel and Richard and all of the, the top dogs in Reform wants to ever have a taste of power, this deal has to happen. I think under our current first-past-the-post system, it's highly unlikely Reform will ever form the opposition. Not impossible, but highly unlikely.
He's probably right with that. He is probably right with that.
So I sense that they certainly will want this deal to go ahead. And I think it would be a very good thing because the Tory party has completely lost its way. I mean, you can basically call them the Liberal Democrats at this point.
Except slightly less popular.
I think amongst voters it would be rather popular because what they're crying out for, this 20% of Tories that have now gone to Reform, they're crying out for conservative values. And the Tory party have lost...
Hey, it's reasonable. What's she got to say for herself?
But realistically, they may return 2, 3 MPs. Nigel Farage might be 8th time lucky. Is he really in a position to say that he'll be the future leader, or actually the Conservative Party's been around?
Is there only fucking hope, you moron?
For centuries. Are they the ones that will call the shots?
Well, I think there is a bit of an element here of a tail-wagging dog. As you say, you could have, yes, the Conservative Party doesn't look like it's going to win a huge amount of seats, but it looks likely to win quite a few multiples of the number of seats that Reform are going to win. I think the...
Again, listen, I like to hope for miracles. So fine, that's not what I thought it was. Never mind. It's surely Labour who will win. It looks like it, unless, I don't know, people get their heads out their asses. What I find truly interesting, what I find genuinely interesting is that having watched 3 or 4 in-depth reviews of the Sackershite episode 3, each review seems to have a different take. It was mainly boring, right? It was mainly boring. It was nowhere near as gay as Rogue, right? I didn't see process at New York Central Station, but like, yeah, look, Jews around the world, it's time to leave. Come to Israel. Best economy, right? We're at war and we still life is better here, right? Come to Israel. Graham Kirk is in relation to James Tiberius. Rossley Davis, I want you to be safe. Want them to be a safe haven for children. Yeah, what? Like this van full of puppies? Come on, get into my van full of puppies. It's a safe haven for children. It doesn't sound that way, right? The articles, but I think I looked at it last night. It is very groomy, right? It is very groomy. Dorian Moldova and River Song will spend her days in prison. All right, and the 11th Doctor, her days, yes, her nights. That's, yeah, but I get the feeling he was just being playful, right? It just didn't seem as fuck bunny-ish as Shooty Gatwa. Full Steer decided to say, this is emotional, but there was no narrative or plot justification for the straight to snogging. Everything was set up. It was fan fiction to make you get to snogging. That's essentially what it was. OGSI says an episode that promotes hookup culture. Exactly, right? It's not fun. It's not funny. It's not good either, right? I'll talk about it when we get to the Doctor Who news, which will be the first thing, right? Fine, whizzing through the chat now. Where am I up to? Bobby75 is in. Doctor Unleashed is really Doctor Who unhinged. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I can't tell you. It's incredible. I sucked up every bit of information about the 2005 revival. I got my own DVDs, with all the stuff that was on, all the appearances on all the TV shows. I loved every second of it. I can't even bother to watch Unleashed at this point. Rusty deliberately debased the character of the Doctor. It says Raymond Williams. He said he would never cast a straight actor in a gay role again. That's why he cast Catwa. The Doctor had to be gay. Yeah, man. And Disney, I think, are like, yeah, this is good news for us. Because Disney's like, everything they do is a disaster. I can only claim to be the one who, one of the ones who came up with the queer era, right? But you're welcome. It's a good, it really does work, right? Not Kublai Khan, but Tagana, says Colin Meadow from the same serial. Well, there you go. Funnily enough. I knew I was close, right? The Acolyte did damage to the brand, but I think Gatwa is worse, as it says the Dining Dragon, since it's a title character. Yeah, look, the Acolyte is just... I don't know why a Star Wars fan would watch it, right? It's weird, right? Since the character was bastardized, yes, at least Luke and Han didn't run around buggering people. That's true. When it says 7 days a more accurate picture, 28 days can be manipulated over the weeks by some fans watching it multiple times, and you only got to watch 2 minutes of it to get a view. That's really all you got. It's really insane. Dining Dragons, originally they assumed the legacy fans would stay regardless. They assumed new fans would replace those who left. You know what happens with the shoes? They make an ass out of you and me. Well, mainly them, really. Mainly them. Edmund of the Angel is here. How you doing, Edmund of the Angel? Thank you for joining us. And Philip Bogart is here. How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us. Don Lewis, cherish the original 6 films with the expanded universe, where anything from Disney should be thrown into a burning dumpster of things got to avoid. Now, listen. If I was given a magic wand and made emperor of all media, right, across the world and everything, I was in control of everything, right, I would keep The Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I might even keep season 3. I quite like season 3, right? I would strip out the episodes of that they put into Boba Fett and put that with season 3. Because honestly, I think it's strayed from its path on season 3. But I still liked it. I thought Katie Sackler was very good. But I would put everything else Disney into a little tile that's called woke shit, right? And I'll have all these franchises would have a woke shit on the streaming services. Doctor Who, everything post 2017, woke shit, and I would re-edit that ending of Capaldi to like fade to white, right? Because that's what I would do. Star Trek, I would save Picard season 3, Strange New World season 1, and everything else. And moving forward, I would keep Legacy and Strange New World massively retooled. I'll get rid of the helmswoman and the security chief woman and replace them with blokes, right? Try and get that the sexual balance. Sexist balance, right, which is completely right. Like, I mean, look, second season of Strange New Worlds, and too many times in 10 forward. Well, why was there a 10 forward there? I don't know. Too many times in the bar, you have cackling women. Like, I'm sick of cackling bloody women. Where are we up to? Target audience is 4 to 14-year-olds. Rusty Slaves is also attract 16 to 30 at most sexually active. And bizarre, 98% of them are heterosexual. I think it's 97%, but I will believe you. Dr. Gay isn't appealing to anyone. I can't wait to see what the ratings are next week, right? I can't wait to see what the ratings are next week. Dan Bradley's got the AI figures. We're going to go over those in a second. Right, Israel confirmed recognizing Palestine as part of their manifesto. Really? Arseholes. No, I'm not overly on board for that. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? Fine. Where should we start? Let's start with... let's start over here. Fine, let's start with here. 1 second, I gotta go. Doink. Hang on. Is there anything new there? Wait. No, we're all good, baby. We go over here. Fine. So now I can't find the screen I'm on. Okay. Doink. Let's talk about Doctor Who. I think that's a good place to start. Let's talk about Doctor Who. So there's an immense amount of gaslighting going on about this episode Rogue, right? They're saying, well, if it was Doctor's kissed women before, and he also kissed Captain Jack one episode. What's the difference? What's the difference if it's 2 men kissing? What's the two men kissing? What, you bigot? Are you bigot? You must be a bigot, homophobe. So, no, the problems are many and varied. The first problem is it's way more excluding than it is inclusive, right? We have a lot of articles from queer activists saying it's so great that we can see Doctor Who kissing. It makes it so much safer for boys to want to kiss. Okay, I'm sorry. Look, the most people's sex drive is strong enough to them to get over fear, right? And it's the same if you're gay or you're straight, right? Look, if you're a younger person, I want you to know, this is really important to know, that the hot girls in school are as scared as you are, right? And if you project confidence and strength, they will be turned on by you, right? But like, none of us knew, right? None of us knew. I wish I could go back in time and say, hey, actually, I did kind of work it out reasonably early on now. But you know, confidence and strength is what attracts people in general, right? But yeah, everybody's scared. Everybody's scared exploring their sexuality. Now they're scared. They go, oh, my sex still. Oh no, help me! Right? Oh no, don't. Oh no, I'm ace. Don't help me. I don't want to have that important part of my life. But it's normally enough, right? This sex drive is normally enough to force you over your fear of rejection, which is what it essentially is, right? And basically, I don't know, you're just scared you're gonna fuck it up somehow, right? I don't know. And everybody does. It's all cool. Right, you don't need reinforcement to go to sexually experiment when you're a kid because it's built into all our DNA, right? Look, honestly though, you want to have a happier life. The traditional, values that we've forgotten for the last 50 years made everybody's lives happier, right? When you had it was considered immoral if you got divorced, right? And again, I think divorce is an important thing. It's a good thing to have if you have couples that get married and they doesn't work, they hate it. You shouldn't live in misery, right? I'm a strong believer in that, right? But the goal was to have one sexual partner in your entire life, and life was better for it, right? And have strong homes, strong families which raise children, right? That life was better for it. So, there's been a lot of, I think, very disingenuous comparisons to other times the Doctors had romance in it, and that's basically, the modern era. I think every kiss has been very, very innocent to a great extent, or has been with as an expression of love. This rogue was an expression of lust. It was, as somebody said in the chat, it was hookup culture, right? And it's not a good thing. It's not going to bring you happiness, right? I understand. Everybody likes to have sex. But honestly, speaking to somebody on the other side of life right now, right, heading towards like the more, I can look back at decades and go, sex with a single partner is better. It just is, right? Life is better. Life is happier, right? And I think this degenerate lifestyle that they're promoting with this, where again, it's not degenerate because they're two men kissing. It's degenerate because it's hookup culture. Is not helpful at all, and it's again one of the reasons why I would not watch this with my children, because I think it's portraying genuinely immoral, generally immoral lifestyle, right? And promoting a genuinely immoral lifestyle, and that's beyond really. Oh, review it yourself, Sophie. Did I see you? You had a great little stream about Earthshot going on yesterday, didn't you? Head over to Sean, review it yourself. That looked like a really good stream. I didn't have time to watch it yet, but I was intrigued by that. So the other great parallel to this would be Madame de Pompadour, which is there's two parallels. Madame de Pompadour, because did they kiss? I can't remember, but again, it was predominantly a non-sexual connection, expressed somewhat romantically, somewhat physically romantically, but it was the that mind read like that mind reading scene was when she saw into him, and I think it was that intimacy that created the bond, right? So that was so I don't think that was hookup culture, is what I'm trying to say. And then you got River Song. Again, it was very, I think, purposely not explicit if it was a sexual relationship or a physical relationship. My feeling was with David Tennant's Doctor and Matt Smith's Doctor, it wasn't, right? It was more, it's the same thing as if you watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, right? You got, what's the name? what's the name of the character? Hot blonde, Kate Capshaw, was in it as like, you know, the romantic, you know, sex appeal, romantically, right? The leading lady. And but if you watch the movie, it's very innocent, right? It's like it's there because they know that big gruff male heroes, you know, have women's, you know, win the woman over, right? So, but again, it wasn't like real genuine sexuality. So yeah, I that was the vibe I got from it. I got the vibe that, and again, this is in my head. However you want to look at it, it's however you want to look at it. That the Capaldi River Song marriage part, he probably was a husband to her, right? In a physical manner, but I think it was more to elevate her against what she needed, right? And so that was my impression of it. This is pure hookup culture, right? This is just pure hookup culture. There was no romance about it at all. It was purely sexual. Again, here, let me just pull this up. Ooh, she cried. Yeah, a little supercut I put together. We looked at it just now. Now, I actually hated the gyrating doctor only like slightly less than the snogging doctor, right? But the gyrating doctor, fuck it all. And again, this was not like, you know, you can also say the Doctor and Rose. Again, that was an emotional connection that I think could have been represented in physical attraction, but this is just hookup culture.
I tell you what, when we both get out of this,
we'll fuck like buddies.
Let's argue across the stars.
Again, nothing has happened to demonstrate a relationship at this point.
I like that.
You know what I like more? To stick my tongue down your throat. Or your arse up, one of the two. Oh, so close, but so far. But don't worry, this song comes. Oh, no! Crying man's back. I'm Doctor Who, you know.
Can you lose your friend to save the world?
Yes, Doctor, to save the world. You gotta let me suck your dick. Oh, well, if you put it that way. Right, if Millie Gibson, just so you know, if the only way is it to save the world is have you suck my dick, I will sacrifice myself for the world, okay? But I'm here for you, baby. I'm here for you. Oh, more crime! And I'm sure you saw all they had lots of shots of their feet. It's just so you can see them wearing tights and women's shoes, right? I'm sure that's why. Can I take your mind off it with a bit of a handy? Oh, you silly little Time Lord! Let me wipe those tears away.
I know.
Well, do you notice there's a complete lack of characterization? Yeah, here you go. And then he has to grab his tit. What is grabbing? Really? Dude. That's not. You maybe want to roll, wind that back a little bit. Oh, it's so romantic. Fuck, Millie. No, this isn't fucking normal. Your whole generation's fucked up. Don't buy into this. Okay, it makes more sense you make out with what the burpee with behind you. Still going for it. Now, that made no fucking sense whatsoever, right? No, I'm like, you set up all these weird different rules that this you're stuck there, you can't move out, and she just knocks her out. This is also he can throw him a bunch of flowers Here, ducky, have a bunch of flowers. You know, I'm from a universe where Aladdin from the Daleks is as gay as I could get, right? Especially in the Cushing movies. This is just like off the charts gay.
Find me.
Find me, and then take me. Take me roughly, but gently. I love the hey he goes last so he can start crying again. Oh no! My fun buddy's not here anymore. Who will finger my asshole now? I don't know. And I just bought 3 new ball gags. Maybe I should have a bit of a cry again. And again, amazingly, still worse than the Acolyte season 3, right? Not good, not fun, not funny. So anyway, to help walk us through the insanity and the fallout, right? There's a lot of fallout we have to deal with. You know, I sent out. I called the banners, right? I sent out the what's the word? What's the thing when you fire you're on a ship, right? And you fire this gun thing. Flare! Send out the flare! Fuck me. Oh, God. I sent out the flares, baby. Send out the flares. And, you know, didn't get much of a response. But thankfully, I found somebody, a ne'er-do-well, who had nothing going on right now, right? Who can gaze into the abyss with us. It is, of course. And he's used to staring the abyss. He's from Birmingham. It's Birmingham King of the Geek. Dan Hadley, how you doing, sir?
Hello. Yes, I saw your flare even from Brom. Yeah,
your hair's looking very full and lustrous today. I think of you with a short haircut.
Well, yeah, it's getting a little bit out of hand, and I've usually got some product on it for when I go live to keep it under control a little bit, because my hair just sort of grows outward and up, and it's very fine as well. That's why I have to put a lot of product on it to get it to do anything remotely sensible. Yeah, that's about as sensible as it gets, and anybody who watches anything that I ever do will probably think that, really? Yeah, my hair is impossible. Good evening. Thanks for that. I just caught the tail end of that bloody awful episode.
Yeah, believe me, they were very interested in the tail end, let me tell you. My premise is this is no way comparable to Go on the Fireplace or any other romance that we've ever seen in Doctor Who, right? It's just not at all. It was
a proper grubby little spectacle that was so poorly acted. And listen to that music as well. What was Murray Gold? Was he completely high while he was recording that?
No, they all live in this weird bubble where this is a good thing. Right?
Shocking.
Again, look. All I know about haven't lived in gay culture. I've known gay people, obviously, like everybody has. But I think the closest I ever got to realities of gay culture, it was watching the first episode of It's a Sin, which I think was a very fair representation of it. Now, and again, it looked like it was fun, right? It looked like it was, having lots of promiscuous sex with lots of unnamed partners. I can understand the idea of living your life like it's a script for a porn movie. It's fun, but that's no way to live, baby. Right? That's not a moral way to live. That's not going to bring you happiness.
I think the word is it's unsustainable.
Well, it's unsustainable. It didn't sustain this episode, and the whole thing was Bridgerton fanfic. Right? It was this written by a couple of useless hacks who only got their job because of their identity and their politics. Right? So the point is, it's not going down that well, right? That's the point. So let's have a quick look at the ratings.
Yeah, box ticking Bints who got lucky, got the call up from Russell T Davies based on their work on a series which he had sort of slated, and yet he brings them on board when he's only got 8 episodes to.
Well, listen, he flushed 2 episodes away with not having Shooty Gatwa, which Shooty Light episode, which actually not a bad idea. I thought Whittaker is. So the first thing I want to say that Rusty Davis is saying that the 28-day ratings for Space Babies is 5.8 million. Bullshit. Don't believe that for 1 second.
Which is an increase of about 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 1.8. Basically 1.8 million. Bullshit.
I mean, I've no reason not to believe him. Because the model,
other than he lies constantly and it's completely for the rest of the data.
Has that information been published? Have the 28-day figures been published?
No, it's just him saying it. Where is it? It's
yeah, because I won't take Russell T Davies himself at his word, really. But those figures should be out there. But by now, it's been 28 days.
They should be out there, but they're not. So that it's isn't hitting the rates we love, but notes growth for the under 30s. So yeah, he said over here a 5.6 million. But they're building over the 28 day period. Episode 1 Space Babies all up to 5.6 million and counting. I don't believe you. Bottom line, I think that's bullshit. I do not believe you. And look, the returns are getting much less, right? They were up to, you've got 1.4 million, a bump over 7 days for Space Babies, and now you got a 1.2 basically. But like the amount of people watching on devices is tiny. Look at that, 280,000 that didn't watch it on a TV, watch it on a device. Compared to
it represents an enormous failure when they're the ones they made a big swing with this by debuting it at midnight, based on the whole narrative that this is where people are going to flock to before, during, and after. The overnights don't matter anymore, and they've fallen proper flat on their faces with this.
So so something visibly missing though was the AAI ratings, right? Now here's the thing: I never know what to call them, AAI or AI, right?
They're double AI, so it's Audience Appreciation Index,
right? So
that's right.
I don't know. So Gary Lee, right? Remember Gary Lee of
yes, I know Gary very well.
Of DreamWatch. So he's a pretty good record of leaking information that's accurate. So he says he's found the missing AI somehow. He said, I can neither confirm or deny the veracity of the figures below, but these are the figures I've found circulating online to be the AI figures the BBC have gone to extraordinary lengths to keep hidden from the public for the first time since New Who began. Yes! I mean, even whatever the figures are, they're working hard to keep them quiet, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And these AI figures are shocking.
I mean, I'm sure Gary published these in good faith, but realistically, until I see them officially published, I'm not going to go anywhere near these, because they have to publish them at some point, and we've got no way of proving them, have we? I mean, we've got no way of
I think
knowing whether these are true or not.
They do have a problem with. They can't. That will get them in trouble with the BBC Charter, right? By the way, let me just bring your attention to it. Where is it? Over here. Another reason that the only people to vote for is Farage, right? Literally the only reason to vote for. They're the only ones saying anything sensible with TV, right?
Okay.
British license fees should be abolished. Those who wish to watch and support BBC can do so if they really wish through a subscription service. All the talk about partiality, impartiality is a distraction. That's very true. Vote
based
for
Reform UK. That's based as fuck. I don't know what their policies are on anything else, but that is seriously based.
Okay, fine. Let me show. I played this earlier. But they had a promo video that I saw there. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Check this out.
And I am proud of my country's achievements and ethics. We're not ashamed of our history, and we do not want it condemned nor erased. We're fed up with being called racist, aren't we? We're fed up with being smeared as bigots, aren't we? I am white and I don't feel ashamed. We are standing up in defence of decency,
political phenomenon, an historic one. So I urge you, join the revolt.
Oh, I hope he does well.
Well, I think he's going to romp it home in Brighton. I've got no doubt. Is it?
Oh, really?
Is it Brighton?
You think it's okay? I hope so. I mean, it looked pretty bleak.
No,
But
Clacton.
yeah,
Sorry, Clacton, not Brighton. I'm certain that he'll secure that seat.
I mean, you can tell when someone's good when they keep getting physically assaulted, which is
Well, they're terrified of him. They're terrified of him. They need to stop him from speaking. And why do we usually find why do they usually want to go to such lengths to stop somebody speaking? Because they're telling the frigging truth.
They don't want to hear what he's got to say.
Yeah.
So the ratings for the overnights were 211. I think probably we're looking at like something similar for the 7-day, like 3-3. But like, what do you think the Rogue is going to have an effect on the overnights for episode 7?
Do I think that right? Of course.
Oh, really? Okay, so fun.
Yeah.
How's it again?
Oh God, the run is far too short to for it not to. It hasn't got time over just 7 weeks, not 8, to kind of grow by word of mouth, to go organically, to take a step back for a week or two. Every single week had to make it count, had to hit it out of the park, and not display huge drops. But I think we've seen here the adverse publicity to Rogue as well. Since it was broadcast, I mean, you must have noticed the amount of people who've certainly told me how they're not going to be watching the show anymore. They won't play this to their children anymore.
Yeah,
this isn't Doctor Who anymore.
Right? No
Yeah.
way whatsoever. Yeah,
and of course, well, you saw some of the tweets that I put out at the weekend, some of the posts over on X that I went with, and I mentioned the ratings again on Monday over there, which elicited a number of similar posts, which are equally hilarious back at me.
Insane.
But I mean, the truth of the matter is this clearly isn't working. It's an absolute.
I got one of these things pulled up over here. This guy Noah, right?
Yes.
This guy's such a. Is he a troll or imbecile or both? So
He's an unrelenting moron.
He really is, isn't he? So almost all TV now isn't hitting it with the majority of people. Rant and rave about viewer totals all you want, but when the show is routinely the most watched thing on a particular channel, it usually tracks that it's pretty popular, right? So it's like saying, are you trying to say that everything is getting terrible ratings because it's woke? Yes! Arsehole.
Yes,
so
I told him that as well. I had a brief exchange with this guy before I realised he's a complete fucking moron, so I just muted him.
Like whenever I comment on him, he runs screaming. He never replies, right? Yes, who could accuse the BBC, who can't bring themselves to call Hamas terrorists, of having any political or ideological agenda? It's purely coincidental their viewership collapsed when their Mandarin mandated their output become kind and diverse, right? These guys are out their bloody tree.
Out of their tree, out to lunch. They're out to every meal, in fact, never mind lunch.
right. So let's have a look at the AI figures for Jodie, right? So this is actually, I'm looking at these AI figures. I haven't looked at them for a while. Better than I thought, right? So 75 is considered good, and below that, not so much, right? So this is for... Flux did 85 is considered. Come on a second. Gary Lee explains it over here. Whether they're true or not appears to be quite generous in the circumstances, and when aligned with the prospective ratings, all fall below the 75 AI achieved by the lowest rated episode ever. So it's 85 is considered good. Below that, middling, right? That's why the Jodie ones were 76, 77.
I'm going to say this is quite complicated. I mean, certainly the stuff we're getting now is on a par. If those figures are true, it's roughly on a par with how Jodie's were doing. In fact, some of them are slightly less, aren't they?
No. They're a lot less, right? They're a lot less.
The more political they get, the lower they get.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
so is this? So I'm trying to figure out what this is because I haven't looked at these for a while. So that's all 6 episodes of Flux. And then the Eve of the Daleks, was it? And then Legend of the Sea Devils.
Right. which was the lowest rated episode ever.
And then Power of the Doctor. Yeah, I think there was a lower figure as well in the previous season. But I mean these are bad.
It went down to 85 and above is considered good. So no, the lowest one they got 77.
It's very finely balanced and structured. The divides between these, it's all quite closely clustered. The science behind the AAI figures is really interesting, but it's quite complicated.
Yeah.
And how they all line up, they compare kind of like for like they compare and contrast all drama shows, but they never compare. They don't compare, for example, drama shows to like a reality show like I'm a Celebrity or something like that, because they figured that the appeal is slightly different. So it is quite clever how they do it. And it makes perfect sense too. But I just don't understand why. Usually they've been published. I know this is
look at them.
You see, this is a popular. But what I mean is, I don't know how they've managed to keep them, because even though Doctor Who TV is a popular site that we all know about, they're usually freely available for anyone to see up on the official Barb site, which is where I always go to.
The first red flag right there, right? So, all fall below 75 AI achieved by the lowest rated episode, Legend of the Sea Devils, with the exception of 73 yards. I think that's because of Boom, right? Even though I think the fundamental message of Boom is completely wrong and evil, right? Well, there's a Disparu did a video on it. I'm quite into now, and his take on it, which seemed like a strong take. Which the thing that Boom I didn't really understand was you had faith was represented as a bad thing, then faith was represented as a good thing, right? And I found that somewhat jarring, right? And so his take on it was there are two different types of faith. The traditional religious faith, that's a bad thing. However, self-defined faith in oneself, faith to make you be whatever you want to be, that was the good thing, right? And those two faiths are fundamentally clash with each other. But anyway.
When I look at these figures, they do line up with what I mean, not necessarily the numbers, but the numbers themselves, but in relation to one another, kind of what I would expect. Although, actually, having said that, I would have expected what am I talking about? Jinx Monsoon would have tanked that. People do not want characters and people like that in family-orientated TV shows. And all the publicity that's been generated around that person is bound to have had an adverse effect. So I'm not surprised at all that 73 yards is potentially the most popular, because, as I said at the time, that had a cultural impact outside of Doctor Who fans. But looking at the rest of it and seeing that Boom is the most, to the naked eye, to the normie, because these boxes, these AAI things, they're in normies' homes. They're not in fans' homes, obviously. So and they wouldn't pick up on very few of them would pick up on woke matters, or even some of the subtexts about religion or anything else like that. All they would know and all that they would vote with was, how much did I enjoy that or not? Did that make me want to watch it? It would be a gut reaction thing. And so I'm, in relation to one another, I'm not surprised by these gut reactions. I think the Dot and Bubble would have probably done a lot better if not for the last 10 minutes. And I'm surprised Rogue was not even lower, to be honest, judged by... Having said that, no, because Dot and Bubble's quite low. Yeah,
they're all low. Again, 85 was the here. Let's look at last the Jodie years. It was got 82 for that was the highest one, but then they got stuff in the 80s, right? 83 was the highest one. Episode 5, God only knows what it was.
I also think though that Doctor Who has been affected broadly as an intellectual property now. It's got a real stench coming off it. A couple of years ago, it was known as simply it's the most PC show on TV, and that was something that it was mocked for, that people were aware of, that normies would become aware of.
Right.
But it's something that people joked about in tabloid newspapers, and your mates might tease you at the pub about it. But we're a few years on from that now, where people's lives, everyday people's lives, have started to be made a bit of a misery by DEI asks, either in their day-to-day jobs, or they might have somebody in their friends group who insists on this or insists on that, being referred to as X, Y, or Z. And people are just worn down by it. So I think the tolerance to it has got a lot less. And the idea, so Doctor Who being sort of amusing that they'll always feature one non-binary character. Or the things that people would have hand-waved a few years ago, now, I mean, not only do they keep doing that, they've upped the ante considerably. But now, Doctor Who, it's sort of, oh, really? Are they still doing that? You know, as you've said before, I think we've all said, but you've said it particularly recently, that it reflects the times. We're in this sort of LGBTQ plus time, and we're having all of this ladled over Doctor Who.
We are and we aren't, right? There's what else this other thing?
Well, in media we are. I mean, you and I know that the general public have rejected this, roundly rejected it over a period of 3 or 4 years.
I think it's being roundly rejected in a lot of circles. So this is Leah Thomas, a 6'4" strapping female swimmer with a penis. Right?
Yes, I only found out about it because I'm not a sport person. I only found out about this quite recently, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm appalled, to tell you the truth.
I recommend everybody go and look up Riley Gaines. Like when her testimony she's given about this has been shocking and horrible. So anyway, was it Leah Thomas, 6'4" man who identifies as a woman, will not be able to compete in the women's category in the Olympics. Thomas is infamous for being a mediocre male competitor. He was ranked like 634th in the men's events, but it was the winner of the women's event. So Sharon Davis, who I like a lot. Remember Sharon Davis? She was
of course,
great ambassador for again, female sports. For it's amazing.
And for common sense as well. She's very plain speaking, as I remember.
So she says, at last, women and girls are being treated with respect and fairness. But in many sports like football and the FA lets males presently still 75 places from females. So much still to do. But the tide is turning, right? That's the point. The tide is turning.
I would hope. I mean, nobody would want to ban athletes like that woman from competing, but they can't compete against biological women. That's just not fair. It's patently ridiculous.
So more of the BBC's bias. Sharon Davis gives BBC's new director of sports, Alex K. Jelski, of obvious misogyny after he said the Olympic swimmer and tennis star Martina Navratilova were not experts on trans athletes in sports. Excuse me, right? But again, this is the BBC. The BBC result driven. They are entirely agenda driven, and you can see that in the results. So I think this bodes poorly for Doctor Who.
I mean, Martina Navratilova is a hero. You know, I'm not into sports.
I agree with
you. I remember seeing her play tennis.
Hero. I like she.
There's that. There's that as well. But you know, somebody who was thrilling to watch.
Right.
And so, why on earth wouldn't you listen to her?
Right.
Wisdom.
Because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. So yeah, this thing is crashing and burning, I think. So I just don't believe. Here, what's it? The 28-day ratings over here for Capaldi. Look, they got an extra 450,000. That's the sort of range that 28 days get, right? You don't get an extra 1.8 fucking million. I'm sorry, Russell, you're full of. And because it hasn't been reported. He'd be like, "Oh, I just read the thing wrong," or whatever. Once it's reported, when it doesn't matter, it's going to be. They'll just.
It's also bloody. It's also disingenuous. I mean, the kiss on Saturday night. It wasn't grubby and nasty and icky because it was two men. It was grubby and nasty and icky because of the presentation around it. Yeah. Just like Jinx Monsoon. Jinx Monsoon isn't an awful person because they're a trans person. They're an awful person because they're a nasty piece of work who's completely a total activist, thick as pig shit from every quote that I've ever seen from them. You know, it's nothing to do with their how they identify. It's the fact that they're not They're horrible people at the end of the day who shouldn't be anywhere near this brand. Same with Kate Herron and Bryony Redmond, these two writers. They shouldn't be anywhere near this brand. They're clearly not talented enough to be writing for a series like Doctor Who at such a crucial time in its history. And I would imagine they probably tick quite a few boxes between them. But again, it's nothing to do with that. It's because they can't bloody write.
Exactly. But again, this is where the imposter syndrome came from. So you see, look, the AIs are all much higher than these are reported. It's arguable whether the contentious casting of Jigsman Soon as Maestro secured Doctor Who's lowest AI rating in modern times, or whether it was down to the impromptu music number. I know you enjoyed it. I hated both those aspects of it. Like nails on a chalkboard to me. All right. And now look, the big question again. Russell, maybe you want to stop looking so fucking smug, right? Especially that piece of shit.
Most of this season has been misjudged to one degree or another from the beginning. Really, I can't blame Disney as much as attractive as that is. I blame him. I blame Russell T Davies.
Well, no, but this is what it is when you get two.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I said excuse me because I was just coughing.
Okay. I think when you have two self-destructed people in a relationship together, they destruct quicker. And I think that's what it is. I think they just all they all believe the same insanity. They believe that gay people are under attack. No, they're not. They believe that they have to fight against it, and they think they're doing something important when in fact they're doing something weird, creepy, and evil. Right, but the bottom line is this: I see the chance of it going to a third season now. It can't do it based on merit. It might do it based on Disney's activism, if Disney can afford the activism. I don't know if they can. So Doctor Who's future beyond 2025 is still up in the air, but Russell Davies remains very confident. Well, I'm glad you do, darling. I don't know. Like on the back of these ratings, I don't think they're going to. I just don't think it's going to come together, right? I don't think there's going to be a season 16. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. Yes. I think and I even go so far as to say I think there'll be a series 17 as well. I think it's I think it's a done deal. I do.
I know. I don't see them go. Look, if they haven't announced it yet, they normally announce it after the first week, right? We got a second season, but if they announce it, they announce it as soon as they can, which is normally before it goes out. Right?
I have no idea whether Disney will remain on board long term. I really don't know. I mean, I've seen Disney make some strange calls and some very sensible calls, I suppose, and the things that they've dropped.
Make a sensible call. Okay.
Well, dropping Willow was a sensible thing to do. Dropping the Willow TV series, that kind of thing. It's okay, we fucked up. Let's just brush it under the carpet and move on. So I've got no idea what Disney are going to do, but the BBC Studios and Bad Wolf will remain locked into this, I believe, for a minimum of 4 seasons.
I don't know, mate. If they can afford it, I hope it's all going to implode beforehand. Now, I don't see this merchandise being yeah. Well, let me backtrack that a little bit. I am gutted that they've made this show completely unrecognized. Again, it's a queer show now. It's not a science fiction show. It's a queer show. And so I'm gutted they have all this stuff. All these resources put into it, like the new Target novelizations. That's how. But I'm not going to buy anything. I don't think anybody's going to buy this stuff. Right? No. I don't think these are commercially viable, frankly.
I don't know how. They've got this all wrong as well. There's three books, three original books out over the next few months, which should be in every supermarket in the country in Britain at a reasonable price, and handy sort of slim volumes in either hardback or paperback that kids can just pick up and get into. But they haven't done that at all. They're like £15 a pop. You can pretty much only get. Though I bet those will be about £8 or £9 now. just a Target novelisation.
Yeah, you can pre-order Rogue here. Let's have a look. Amazon.
These should be mega affordable. These are the kind of things you give to kids as stocking fillers.
$11.75 US.
Fucking hell! Well, that would be about £9 then, wouldn't it?
No, again, like what's that like in like because I don't live in England anymore. Like what's like a copy of 2000 AD was like 6p when I was reading it. So I don't know what it.
Okay, let's have a look online. On mine, Amazon, we've got.
Well, like, what on earth is this?
Oh, here they are.
Going to be like? Is it going to be like some?
Okay.
weird...
Oh, yeah. Right. The price of the one I'm looking at is £9.19, but the recommended retail price is $9.99.
Okay, well there you go. Fine, not such a great saving. I'm like, it's so sad, right? It's just so sad that it was so shit that I have no interest in it. I can't imagine anybody buying these for their kids. This is just a shit show, right? This is just a relentless shit show. And I think we're going to get the lowest rated season finale ever, right? It might be the lowest rated episode ever. Like I could certainly see the overnights dipping to under 2 minutes.
There's a chance it may. God. There's a chance it may build for the finale, but when I'm talking about build, I mean, minimally, as in, but it's been pretty much a constant, and I don't have any expectation of it altering drastically before the end of the season.
And Paul Towson points out no Disney program has lasted past 3 seasons. I think they mostly last 1 season, don't they?
This, can I point out again, this isn't a Disney program. Disney got involved after everybody else. This production was happening anyway.
Money to make it onto make this production?
No.
That seems
they
like
need that. I mean, it's advantageous. I mean, Disney apparently they are footing pretty much the marketing bill, but as I understand it,
and marketing's been shit as well.
They the show, it's generally speaking, for the most part, it's still affordable by Bad Wolf and the BBC together. Well, because and Sony as well. Again, this isn't a Disney show. It's not being made by Disney.
Would it still be affordable if it's a proven failure?
Again, that depends on their expectations for it. It depends on how they imagine, because they will have their projections. They will have sat and tracked this down over what potentially they could look to. Because Bad Wolf have got it for 5 years, from when they announced the commission of the anniversary specials. They've got it for 5 years, so they had that's 2021. So it's with them to produce until 2026, and obviously anything that they produce in that time, in that window up until the autumn of 2026, could potentially be shown into 2027. Where are we now? So we're looking at the 3 years there.
Russell said he's already started writing episodes of season 3, but I don't know. I will be surprised if you get it. I just don't believe this 5.6 million. I'm sorry, I just don't. Right, and I think there's going to be memory hold when the actual ratings come out. But okay, this is from That Park Place, which is a Disney website, like a Disney commentary website, and so it looks like it's doing very badly for them, to me, right? And then we have, what was it? Rusty Davis wants you to watch 7 episodes before the season finale. And where is it? Here we go. What episodes does he want us to watch? The Radio Times. I'm not interested in any of these. Just tell me the episodes.
I've got it here if you want it. Where is it? I've got it here. I've got the list of episodes here that he's recommended that people watch. Where is it? I'll just get it up on screen. And it is.
I need medication for that nowadays, but okay.
Okay, and here it is for you, good sir. This is from this week's issue of the Radio Times. So you've got 5, and as you say, there's a couple of 2-parters in there. So knock yourself out.
From space. That indicates that they're gonna have some kind of Pertwee cameo. They were saying played by his son. What's it? Which is like I always want to see. It's like they said they were gonna do before, but his schedule did it. The guy from Gotham, right? I think that would be exciting. I don't know. Is he going to be in it? Who knows? But that does seem to be that. And it also gives you the setting of Unit and what's going on with that. Then Bad Wolf and the Parting of Ways. Okay. Bells of St. John. Good Man Goes to War and the Church on Ruby Road. I can't really pull anything out of that at all. What do you think?
Well, I must admit I'm a little bit past caring.
That's the truth, right? That's exactly what I am. I'm like, I don't really care.
I mean,
right?
I still think that Russell T Davies is a fabulous talent, but the guy's making such a fool of himself on a week-to-week basis, and virtually everything that he comes out with is pretty ridiculous or inconsequential. Or ideological. So I'm sort of tuning it out now. I mean, thank you to Rachel from Chat Don't Shout for putting this up on Twitter as well. But yeah, I look at this list and I think, well, I see his own Christmas special from a few months ago, sorry. I see Spearhead from Space, which he, let's face it, partly plagiarised. And Yeah, I don't know. I just think this is a pretty rum list, to tell you the truth, with the exception of
maybe the authors will be back. Who knows?
I could say, because does anybody really care?
No, the truth is no. That's why they fill it with all these member bearers, because nobody cares. Right, it's like Big Finish. They put member bearers in everything because no one's going to buy it.
I mean, I get the impression from what he says here that these are episodes which are a bit like or directly linked to the two that are coming up. So in A Good Man Goes to War, you had the mystery over Amy's baby and the identity of this, that, and the other, and we've got the Ruby story kind of promising to reach some sort of head in the next couple of weeks. His own story, Parting of the Ways, how he's trying to outdo himself, I suppose, from all those years ago, and this year's Christmas special. So yeah, I just it's whatever.
I mean, again, I liked Shooty when I first saw it. Not when I first saw him. When I saw him when he was supposed to be introduced, running over the rooftops. That and when he was leading into physicality, that was really a strong thing. I've really found him grating in every episode since then, and getting more and more grating every week, right? And I wasn't able to tell if it was his shitty act outside of Doctor Who promoting it, or if it was him. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I just can't. Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
Well,
I just find him like Nelson.
I feel that I thought he was fantastic in Dot and Bubble, but in this one,
I mean it worked well, and then you had the crying scene at the end. I'm sick of him crying, right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but he did play that scene beautifully. I can't deny that. It's just the things that he was given to do and say that I've got a problem with. But in Saturday's episode just gone, it was as if he was playing a completely different character. It was unrecognisable as the Doctor that I've been watching all my life.
It's unrecognisable as the Doctor I've been watching all my life, but it seemed like a natural progression from what I've seen from the queerer is what we're trying to.
He seemed very comfortable doing all that, and as if it was as if to say, kind of, okay, now this is kind of what I really want to be doing. This is my comfort zone. I've never seen Sex Education, but I gather that it's very sexually explicit, very sexually charged, and maybe there's a lot of that kind of thing in there. A lot of people coming on to one another in the most unsubtle of ways. I don't know, and quite frankly, again, I wish I was a bigger Shooty fan than I am, because obviously, if this had worked for me, I would be flocking to his back catalogue, but I'm not. I wouldn't.
I see you got on your thumbnail the Sutek.
I have.
I have.
Sutek brings his gift of death to all non-believers.
Oh, can he bring the gift of death to this era of Doctor Who? Okay, please.
How could I resist? How could I resist the opportunity? After weeks of having to put Ncuti Gatwa on every thumbnail, how could I resist the opportunity to put Bonnie Langford front and centre?
Bonnie Langford sells this episode for me. It's one of the few things I'm looking forward to. Right? I like Bonnie in pretty much everything. She's got great energy, great attitude. National treasure, absolutely a national treasure, and I think it's just crushingly a shame that Ncuti Gatwa is the biggest detriment to this era, right? In pretty much every episode, he was the weakest thing in each episode. In Space Babies, well, I found the whole thing quite weak, but yeah, he was just annoying in that. Jinx Monsoon. Oh no, Jinx Monsoon was the worst thing in the episode. Jinx Monsoon was the worst thing in Devil's Cord. And then I thought I really didn't like him in Boom. The whole premise of Boom, like, why did he just use a sonic screwdriver to turn off the mine, right? And then why did he? Check my DMs. Right?
He was out of his depth in Boom. He was, whereas I think that it's a good job that Verada Sethu was there because playing that soldier.
I agree with you. It was a great showcase for her.
She really grounded it. She made it. She actually sold you on the stakes of that. And I thought that Millie Gibson was really good in that one too, even though she got knocked out after about 25 minutes. She was great as well. So if it hadn't been for them,
I didn't like the way that he was like in a minefield with invisible mind saying, "Oh, Millie, come over here," by singing to her. Fucking hell! Oh God! Anyway, what can I tell you? Colin Archer just said something to me, and I know the name, and I've interacted with him a few times, but I don't know him that well. Apparently, Clobbering Time passed away. Do you know him?
Yes, I did know him. Yeah.
Oh,
we weren't best friends, but we'd podcasted and live streamed together 3 or 4 times. I've been on his show, and he came on something that I used to do, and I used to message him now and again.
He always struck me as like a decent bloke. So when did he pass away? Do you know?
Yeah, only yesterday. The poor man collapsed of a heart attack on Monday, I think it was, and hit his head as well. And so he was very, as I understand, he was, he was in a very bad way.
Bad. That's very, very sad. Oh, and listen, Godspeed. Look, at least he doesn't have to watch the Doctor Who.
Mike.
He's free.
Mike was a very, very funny guy, and he loved all classic entertainment. And it's like a lot of us, he was very wounded by what's been done to Star Trek in particular, but kind of came out fighting with it and being creative and being funny. Very much kind of the best of us in many respects. He's a lovely man, very, very funny. And when you go on his channel, I don't know. He used to treat you like he'd known you for years and years and years. Even though when I first met him, it's literally a total stranger. But he'd find a way to sort of, to bond with you. He was very, very sweet, man. I'm going to miss him.
This is what fandom is good. This is fandom before we had this toxic invasion. This is what it all used to be like, right? We used to have like nice people to hang out with and argue and disagree with. You're still wrong about Delta and the Bannerman. Love you anyway. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, Delta and the Bannerman will probably get a mention later on. It always does. And she was.
I would rather watch Delta and the Bannerman than Rogue over. Not even close. Right? Not even close.
Yeah, well, me too. I'd rather watch. I was thinking about this the other day. Is Rogue the worst episode of Doctor Who of all time? I thought, ooh, you know what? It's up there.
I don't think so.
I think Jodie has still got that sewn up with a great many of her entries.
Yeah.
But it's in that bracket.
Episode, but not the most awful episode.
No, because the bits at the party and with Ruby running around were quite entertaining, but they kept breaking it up with. Yeah, when they kept breaking up with scenes, which was almost like that was from a completely different show. It was just really, really weird.
Because it was all about having a gay snog, right? It just struck me as
it was 40 minutes of total contrivance to get everybody to the situation where the Doctor has a big, lovely, long, wet kiss with another man. That's all the thing was about.
The contrivances were very weak. So I say Orphan 55 was the worst episode. Worse than Timeless Children. Yeah, I think Orphan 55 was just the worst episode I've ever seen. Only marginally more awful than Can You Hear Me? Or Can They Hear Me?
Oh, that was really bad. Yeah, Orphan 55 does have it beaten.
I think so. So tell me what's coming on your show in an hour.
We've got the past, the present, and the future of Doctor Who coming right at you in an hour or so, in the usual kind of slapdash manner. Lots of ranting and raving and geeking out with myself and an assortment of friends and companions there on Type 40 Live. We're going to get into the ratings as well.
So I was very sad that Simon stopped watching the series. I don't know if I liked his reviews or I liked the pain it went through the clear pain it went through to watch it. Right? I don't know, but I was enjoying that.
You'll be pleased to learn that before Simon bailed, we have got more material recorded. Okay. I've put him through reviews of earlier episodes of the season. And to be honest, I haven't spoken to Simon all week, so I don't know. I think he did see Rogue, or at least some of it. So I don't know. You'll find out when I do in around an hour's time.
1 hour.
Yeah, yes, there's that. And there's all sorts of other stuff as well. There's a couple of things which I've spotted, which I'm not sure anybody else has. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. There's a great big diary as well with some fabulous stories and little bits and bobs in there and some fantastic fan art as always. And it wouldn't be the same without the ad break either. So there's one of those two.
I do love the ad break. I think you should cut out the Doctor Who diaries and release them as their own videos as well.
Well, I did. I was doing that until around a year ago, and then I sort of stopped. I was breaking up the show into segments, and some of them would do really well, But again, this isn't my full-time gig, so it's just got too time-consuming. But I am going to start doing it again because several people have asked me, can you do this? Can you do that? So watch this space. We'll be doing some more of that, and the diary will be released as its own individual show as well.
Although this week we actually got some quite good news. There's House of the Dragon coming back, so that at least it's like good on TV for once.
Yeah, are you watching The Acolyte?
Oh, I watched. I didn't do a review. I watched the third episode today. Ooh, again, it's just not good. It has very little connective tissue to Star Wars, right? It's about a offshoot of the Star Wars universe, and which would work if it had a strong main central section that dealt with like Jedi's doing Jedi things and that sort of stuff. And then you could have these if you had brought in these witches as a side character and people like them, I can see them delving into them. But generally speaking, it's shit, right? This episode is like 2 child actors or maybe 1. I don't know. Are they twins? I have no idea. I don't know, some lord destroying bullshit, essentially. But it strikes me that these witches are the same witches that showed up in the Ahsoka show.
Oh, okay.
Why are they making all this chick Star Wars that nobody wants, other than Bryony, whatever her name is, who wrote the fanfic this week on Doctor Who?
I am now at the place with Star Wars that I reached with Star Trek a couple of years ago, in which case I'm completely detached from it. I haven't watched the last 3 or 4 of these shows, and I doubt I'll watch any of them again. So I'm hearing the content of the Acolyte and seeing people get upset and things like that. And, I do feel for them, obviously, but above that, I'm just thinking, phew, I'm pointing and laughing at the thing and thinking, it's not getting an hour of my time. Never mind 8 or 9. I'm well out of it. I've got Star Wars as it will always be to me. I don't need to see it debased even further by anybody currently working at Disney on those shows. It's not. it's just not the same. It may have Star Wars on the opening credits, but it's not Star Wars. It's whatever, we've not saying there won't be Star Wars in the future. There may be eventually, but right now,
if
no.
Disney falls at that eye, then everything changes, right? But Divine and Dragon says the most fortunate thing that Lucasfilm did was buy a boy brand and turn it into a girl brand. Did the same thing with Marvel. They bought Marvel because they needed more boy brands, and because that's all they know how to do.
Yeah,
to tell you. Yep. Anyway, you're starting in just under an hour.
I better go and get myself sorted out. I'm going to get myself fed, get some wax in this hair of mine to look presentable, and I'll see you hopefully there in an hour or so. More of the same kind of nonsense. It's going to be explosive. Don't miss it. I have got some news. I don't know if it's exclusive news, but I've definitely got some sort of news. So don't miss that as well. I'll see you in an hour's time. Oh, and mate, the post has been, look what I've had delivered. So I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, I'm very excited.
Thanks for the chat, mate.
I'm so disappointed it's not something better. Shall we say?
Never mind. I'll catch up with you soon, mate. Thanks, everybody. Good night. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Toodle pip. He's still there. Oh, that was good. No, is he still there?
Hey?
You're still there. Oh, there you go. Anyway, what did I not get to? I didn't get to so much stuff. SFX magazine. I'm not going to do that on Saturday. Right, Bleeding Cool had a bunch of stuff. I don't really care. I think we did quite well. Frankly, I think we did quite well. But I do like stuff like this, where they're definitely trying to spin. Like, it's not so great. But okay. Rather than confident about future, I think Dan's wrong. I don't see this going to a third season. Although that's my bias, right? It's more like I hope I don't see it go to a third season. But honestly, I don't see it going to a third season. Who's major fan theory with since the Empire Death synopsis? We'll have a quick look at that, then move on. What's this in a synopsis? Doctor has lost his Asianist enemy reigns supreme, and the shadow is falling over creation. Nothing can stop devastation except perhaps one woman. Could that be the one woman? Maybe, you think? Who knows? I don't give a shit. Anyway, what time is it on Saturday? Let's have a look. 1 second. Saturday. They got footy on, so that might actually be a good intro to it, right? Might actually get people might up the rating. So it's on earlier, 6:30, right? So it finishes at 7:20. I think it's good. I think it's still going to be 7:45. I think it'll be 7:45 on Saturday night. I'll be here in to give you my first impression review. Maybe this episode won't be a shit hit. The only way to watch this era of Doctor Who is to watch it as if it's the first episode that you've never seen before, and that's the only way of really evaluating how bad it is. And it's normally pretty bad. I'm telling you. What was incredibly bad was just into the quality level was the Acolyte part 3. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I do not want to tell you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. Join me on Saturday night. So where we will have much more fun and frivolity, talking about the destruction of things that we love. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hit the end broadcast, but I'm going to hit it again. Say good night. I'm going to say good night. Good luck. And